Jump is a documentary feature about competitive jump rope that follows 5 teams of kids from around the country as they make their way to the World Jump Rope Competition.
And okay, so how did you stumble across them or making this film, or where'd you get the idea?
I got the idea to make the film after chancing upon a jump rope competition on television. I had no idea that the sport even existed, and as soon as I saw it, I was blown away by their athleticism and creativity, and that they were so obsessed with a sport that I had no clue existed. And very quickly, I just became obsessed with it, and ultimately, I think I became as obsessed as the kids that I follow. And I came across this team by talking to other coaches around the country in the Jump Rope League, trying to get recommendations for teams that were likely to make it a far way in competition, because I wanted the audience to have a chance to really develop a rooting interest for different kids.
Helen called me and said that she had seen us, and I guess she saw us on ESPN and at some of the things, and so she asked me if she could film the team, and I thought it sounded like a great idea. Why not? So here we are.
And the kids, how have they taken this whole, they probably think it's really cool that a movie's being filmed after them and everything. How have they reacted?
Well, the kids loved the movie today. Every one of them loved it. But when we were doing it, it all sounded great until they're practicing and there's someone right there with the camera and a microphone all the time and you're having a bad day. Then there were moments when it was a little hard. But they got to the point where she was with us so much that they didn't even notice her after a while. So it worked out.
Well, it was hard sometimes because at that stage, if you've seen the movie, we got yelled at a lot. So it's kind of like, oh, are they really capturing this? I'm kind of embarrassed, but then we got used to it. It was just funny, when you'd have cameras right next to your face and you turn around, you're like, bam, run into a camera. But it got easier after a while once you got used to them around all the time. So
I think that the biggest challenge in the film was definitely my own insecurities, my ability. This is my first documentary. I'd been a producer before, but this is my directorial debut, and I think that one of the biggest challenges was probably learning how to trust myself and how to bear the weight of so much responsibility, because I was basically working alone. I didn't have funding for the project. It really became a labor of love. I was filming for about a year and a half, couch hopping, traveling on the country, couch hopping, and then I was really blessed to have a great editor come on board, but it was just the two of us. So I think the challenges were more about production. The challenges weren't the subjects of the film. They were all delightful. But that was the biggest hard part. And then the best part about the film was just loving the subjects so much. I became so enamored with the kids and the sport and what they were learning and what they were doing, what they're achieving, that I just felt endlessly inspired. And that having that kind of motivation gets you through all of the dark, dark tunnels that a filmmaker is bound to go through.
Well, they come to me at different ages, but I'm the phys ed teacher at my school, and I send a note out to every kid in the school and ask them if they would like to come to our jump rope club, and I'll teach you several tricks and help you get in shape. And if you would like to audition for our team, then at the end of 4 weeks, you may do so. So basically, I teach them every trick that I can think of, and after 3 or 4 weeks, I can tell who's going to be able to do the tricks and who's going to keep trying and persevere, and who is going to be more of a pain in the neck, doesn't really want to practice. And so I give it 3 or 4 weeks to see not only can they do it, but are they hard workers? Because sometimes you get a child in 3 weeks that isn't that good, but they're such hard workers, you see that they're determined and they're going to be the one you want.
Yeah, it was cool, and it was definitely a big motivation because we have nationals and worlds coming up, so it's even just reiterate in our minds how other teams can do so well and what they do. So it was a big motivation. We gotta step it up, guys. Regionals was just a little step, so it was nice. And
no, I never did this. I have been teaching phys ed for a long time, and I taught in high school, stayed home for a while after I had my children, and when I went back in an elementary. And after a couple years, I went to a national convention, and I happened to see a team. And I was so in awe of all the things that they do. I just couldn't believe it. Who in the world made up all these crazy tricks? And so I started practicing, following them around for a week and practicing. Then I started teaching the kids at school, and within a short time, they were picking it up much faster than I did. And someone from the Heart Association approached me and asked us if we would like to be a team and perform at schools. And from there, we got into the competition, and it's just grown like crazy. So now I've been doing this for 15 years.
Tennessee has a couple of jump rope teams, but not so many. So it's really exciting to be able to introduce the sport to a totally new audience. And also the National Film Festival is such a great regional festival. So I really begged to be screening here. I'm grateful that Brian Gordon selected this film. And the Cincinnati Rope and Rockets were close enough by that they could participate. And they're one of the teams that I followed. So that was really great.